Greetings, Israel and sojourners of Israel. My name is Brother Jedediah, and today's date is September the 8th, 2022. I'm coming to the nation with this topic, exposing the New Testament and the dangers of Christianity. Again, the title of my lesson is Exposing the New Testament and the Dangers of Christianity. Just recently, I did a lesson entitled, If the New Testament is Authentic, I Need Answers. No one was able to answer my questions. I still have more questions. What happened to the people who lived during the 400 years of silence? Was there redemption for them? A brother from GOCC, who I once fellowshiped with, questioned me after I told him that I no longer believe in the New Testament and that it's false and it has too many contradictions. His question was, where is your sacrifice for sin? Seeing that there is no more animal sacrifices for sin and no more temple, and Jesus is our sacrifice. He also said, there is no atonement without Jesus. My question is, if Jesus atoned for our sins, why are we still keeping the Day of Atonement every year according to the Torah? Something is wrong. I am going to ask him this question. What happened to those people who lived during the 400 years of silence, which is the time period between Malachi and Matthew? How did they get redemption? Who was their sacrifice? Who atoned for them? Was this 400 years a period of hopelessness? We must be mindful that the Greeks and the Romans, who are Idumea or Edom, are the authors of the New Testament and have no redemption or forgiveness from the Most High, according to Obadiah 1 and 11. So their sole intention is to deceive the chosen people, to get even with the Most High, and to inadvertently have the chosen people worship a false, pagan, and unknown God. No one can get even with the Most High. Their day will come. They will be destroyed forever. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, these are some of the most well-known Greek philosophers. These Greek philosophers predates the New Testament, Jesus, and Paul by over 300 years. They were unholy and unrighteous, but yet their philosophical writings are in the New Testament. How can this New Testament be authentic when plagiarized writings from Greek philosophers are in this book, namely Paul's writings? In 1 Corinthians 9 and 24, it is alleged that Paul wrote, Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? Yet Plato, who lived over 300 years before Paul, wrote almost these same words in his description of races and prizes won by athletes during his day. Listen to Plato in his philosophical work titled The Republic. But such as are true racers, arriving at the end, both receive the prizes and are crowned. Is not this strange, since Paul seems to be repeating the same words as Plato? The Catholic bishops in the first century twisted these Greek philosophers' writings around and attribute them to Paul. In Romans 8 and 6, it is alleged that Paul wrote, For to be carnally minded is death. But again, long before Paul was born, Plato had written in his work titled Phaedo that to be carnally minded was death. In Philippians 1 and 21, it is alleged that Paul wrote, For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. However, Plato, ahead of Paul, in his work titled Apologies of Socrates, depicts the death of Socrates. Plato was so devastated at the wrongful death and execution of his mentor and teacher, Socrates, that he wrote, Now if death is like this, I say, to die is gain. In 1 Corinthians 13 and 12, it reads, For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. This too Paul claimed to have been inspired by the Most High to write, and give the impression that these was his original words. But strangely enough, Plato again in his work, Phaedo, had said almost the same things long before there was a Paul. Hear what Plato said. I am very far from admitting that he who contemplates existences through the medium of thought see them only through a glass darkly, any more than he will see them in their working effects. Now let's look at 1 Thessalonians 5 and 15. These words were also attributed to Paul. See that none render evil for evil unto any man. But again, Plato had much earlier on in his work titled Crito said, Then we ought not to retaliate or render evil to anyone. Whatever evil we may have suffered from him, so then who is who? 2 Timothy 4 and 6. Paul said, I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand, to be with Christ, which is far better. Plato said, the hour of my departure has arrived, and we go our ways. I to die, you to live. Which is better? God only knows. These were not Paul's words, but Plato's. Is this New Testament an authentic book, or is it a plagiarized book? Did Paul receive his revelations from Jesus Christ or from Greek philosophers? According to Galatians 1, 11 and 12, Paul said his revelations came from Jesus Christ. Not only did he receive his revelations from Jesus Christ, but also Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates, who were all Greek philosophers. And we know that this Jesus Christ that Paul is referring to is a Greek and a Roman deity. Galatians 1 and 11. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. Galatians 1 and 12. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. According to what I have given you, we can clearly see that Paul received his revelations from Greek philosophers and not from the Most High. So Paul is a liar, and the Catholic bishops in the first century are liars also, who concocted this lie to validate this false and misleading book called the New Testament. Their day will come. Wake up, Negroes, wake up. This New Testament is going to send you to hell. I keep telling you, it's a Greek and a Roman book. This book, the New Testament, is trash, and it needs to be trash. The sin of following and worshiping Jesus is going to send more Negroes to hell than any other sin. There's only one God, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the true and living power, the Most High. Where was the Word during the 400 years of silence? If the Word was in the beginning, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, why was the Word silent for 400 years. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But yet, there was 400 years of silence. This tells me that the so-called Word that is God and that is with God is Roman theology. In closing, I must address the dangers of Christianity. Christianity is so dangerous and powerful that the chosen people were convinced by Jim Jones to drink poison, knowing that they were going to die, seeing people dying in front of them, yet they're still lined up to drink that deadly cocktail anywhere, all in the name of Christianity and Jesus. In 1993, David Koresh, the Branch Davidian leader, convinced a brilliant Harvard-trained Negro attorney to remain on a compound engulfed in fire to be burned to death, all in the name of Christianity and Jesus. This Harvard-trained attorney, Wayne Martin, was married to Sheila Martin. Sheila Martin was also married to David Koresh and had 2 children by him, even though she was still married to Wayne Martin. This is Christianity. Is the Most High pleased with this abominable behavior and immoral sins? Absolutely not. These are not just 2 isolated incidences. The Christian church is a crime-ridden institution. It is at the top of the list when it comes to crimes against humanity. Many of these crimes in the Christian church are not reported to authorities and are swept under the rug. Do your own research and you will see Satan is the god of Christianity. And I repeat, Satan is the god of Christianity. Christians that worship on the Sabbath. Some of these so-called Hebrew camp leaders are just like Christian leaders. The only difference between them is the day of worship. The Hebrew camp leaders worship on Saturday, the Sabbath, and the Christian leaders worship on Sunday, the day of the sun. Both pray to Jesus, worship Jesus, follow the New Testament, and accumulate excessive worldly wealth and material possessions. Therefore, those Hebrew camps that pray to Jesus, worship Jesus, follow the New Testament, collect tithes, and use all the scams of Christianity are nothing more than Sabbath-keeping Christians. They are leading you, the chosen people, down the road to eternal damnation. Sad but true. Christianity and the New Testament is a danger to the chosen people in every respect. We have to fight racism and all the social ills of society as a people. And the Catholic Church was complicit with that behavior. Yet today, we are Catholics and we pray in their demonic churches. The Catholic Church was the largest institution that held slaves in the Western Hemisphere. Even though in the Hebrew Bible, which is the New Testament, servitude or slavery is only for 7 years. And at the end of the 7 years, the servant must go away with substance. The Catholic Church worked the Negroes for 240 years for free and sent them away with nothing. What a wicked and sinful organization. This is Christianity, and it's foreign to the Most High. He frowns at Christianity, and it's an abomination unto him. If they hate us and despise us and enslave us, why would they want to give us anything that is good, including their good pagan god, Jesus, who was unknown to our ancestors and all the holy prophets of old? Jesus cannot be good for nothing when it comes to the chosen people. We must reject the Old Testament. We must reject Christianity. And we must reject Jesus. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it is the truth. The New Testament is a transgenerational lie that has passed down through generations. If we ever want to make it to the new kingdom, we must reject Christianity. We must reject the New Testament. And we must reject Jesus. One might say that Jesus is in the New Testament, and to reject the New Testament is to reject Jesus. And that is the reason why he should be rejected, because he is in a false book and he is a fake Roman deity. So if the New Testament is false, Jesus is false also. Truth and righteousness cannot be in a lying, plagiarized book. Wherever you see a pattern of lies and deceptions in any book, it must be rejected. This book, the New Testament, must be rejected and all of its writings. Christianity is a weaponized evil that cannot be brought down by no one or anyone, only the Most High. The Most High himself will destroy Christianity. Paul claimed he received his revelation from Jesus Christ, but according to Amos 3:7, the Most High revealed his secrets to his prophets, and Paul was not a prophet of the Most High. Paul was a Roman, aka an Edomite. Again, Paul was a Roman, aka an Edomite. Amos 3:7. Surely the Most High will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. The Most High told us that he's going to send back Elijah the prophet, Malachi 4:5. But the Greeks and the Romans and Christianity tells us that Jesus is coming back. And we are all anticipating and awaiting his return. That's how dangerous and powerful Christianity is. Even some Hebrews are awaiting Jesus to return. They have put aside the words and truth of the Most High and are gravitating towards lies and falsehoods and waiting for a Roman Messiah. Sad but true. 2.6 billion Christians are looking for Jesus to return. And also those Hebrews who are Sabbath-keeping Christians. It is going to be a very sad day when Elijah returns, and not Jesus, the Roman Messiah. Jesus will be judged and condemned, and he will end up where those 2.6 billion Christians are going, to the abyss, never to return. I must conclude. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Again, I thank you, and may the Most High bless.